Hello again, RoyZesch.REALTOR here with Coldwell Banker Legacy in San Angelo. Today I want to continue my series on healthy living. I want to kind of interrupt those baby steps and kind of give a little bit more background and overview kind of thing. So as you're going through the baby steps, what makes the most sense to me, and people have different views on it, but is to make very small, permanent lifestyle changes. Too often people look at a diet, they look at a way to lose weight, which is not a bad thing, but they've got to look at something that's sustainable in the long haul. And that's one of the reasons I took the approach of the baby steps. Because if you can do just one of these things for the long haul, then you've made a long-term decision, as opposed to I lost 100 pounds on an ultra slim fast diet, and then 5 years down the road you've gained it all back and then some. So that's part of the thought process in all of this. So, and as you're getting into it, think about, don't obsess too much. I like to obsess, so I'm guilty on that one, but don't obsess too much about every little detail. Kind of take a big picture. If you look at it, over the course of your lifetime, you're going to eat somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 meals, okay? So each one of those meals individually doesn't matter much. You can eat the absolute worst stuff out there in the world, one meal, and it probably doesn't matter, because it's one of 100,000. It's the habits that you go through day after day, what you eat and how you take care of yourself, that really matter. So keep that in mind as you're doing all this too. One of the ways I try to look at it is just how can I give my body the things it needs to make itself healthier, because our bodies were designed to keep themselves healthy, to refresh themselves. And so if you can give it the right tools, vitamins, minerals, all the nutrients you get from different places, then it will do a good job of that. So part of the goal is reduce the medical intervention as much as you can. So am I against doctors? Well, no, that's craziness. The things that our medical science can do today, particularly if you look at traumatic injuries. I mean, you're in a car wreck and your face is smashed. I really appreciate the fact that a doctor can put your face back together in a way that it works. You know, even just working is a big deal, but more than that, a lot of times they do such a good job you can barely tell it after the fact. So it's amazing what they can do. But when we try to use doctors to keep track, to help with our health, it's not really what they're trained for. They're trained at dealing with a situation where the health is already bad and we're trying to make it better. And another thing to realize in all that is the tools that are out there. Now, when you look at science being testing, empirical testing done on people, realize first thing, studies are very expensive. When you do true scientific studies of different things, it is very expensive. So what you tend to see is there's not a lot of it done except for people that are going to make money off the results of the study. So most of the studies are paid for by a drug company, and even if they're as honest as they can be, they have a bias as they go into it. They're trying to prove that this drug is not only good for you, but it will do what they have said it will do, fix whatever problem you have. And sometimes it will, but the bias in there is real easy for them to get, where they just eliminate certain facts or just a tiny tweaking in the way to design a study, and it hides certain places, certain negatives there. So there's a self-interest there you just got to be aware of. And as far as nutritional, real good long-term studies, there's just not very much out there, because who's going to pay for it? You know, the drug companies will pay for it to prove a drug, to test a drug, to get the FDA approval on it. But it's hard for anybody else to do it. So a lot of it ends up being common sense type things, just realizing that people have eaten this way for lots of years, and watching the changes in the diet, particularly in the past 20 to 50 years in America, the rise in obesity and some of those things, and figure out that it's just not working. So again, it's not an anti-medical establishment, it's just using them prevention instead of, it's like having your oil changed, for example, in your car, versus taking it to the mechanic when something breaks because you didn't change the oil. So that's kind of the approach I would like to suggest that you take with all of it, is that kind of an approach. Go into it, give your body the tools it needs to repair itself, and it'll do a fairly good job of that. And then when you come to a place that it just doesn't happen, or there's a traumatic type injury that requires that medical intervention, that's fine. That's do what you need to do to get your body back up and operating. So just kind of an overview of things. But again, don't obsess too much, and look at it as very small lifestyle changes, but permanent, not temporary. When you know, if you follow baby step 1 and that's all you do is cut the crap, cut the true junk foods out of your life, and you do that, you know, whatever, if you've got 21 meals a week, even if one meal you blow it, I mean, you don't do very well on it. It's not that huge an issue. So, but to really be focused on it being a long-term change, make a small change and stick with it long enough to make it part of your normal habit. Then if you choose to make another small change, you do that and add that to your long-term habit. But it's long-term, not short-term. And you try to look at it that way and take a big picture view of it instead of what can I do to lose weight right now so I can look better, so I can feel better, so whatever else. That will come, but the more you spread that out over time, the better off you'll be in the long run. So any more questions, give me a call, 325-268-0775, RoyZesch.REALTOR. Thank you.